Oh, there you are, Ghoulies, and it's time to get the wood out. Moriella joins us once again on Crimson Theater, and we're going to dive into deep to the Edward Wood Jr. films. So many great ones, and while they always said he might have been the worst director in history, I think there's far worse than Ed Wood. His films are very entertaining, like tonight's horrifying melodrama, Bride of the Monster. What Ed Wood did that was quite unique is work with Bela Lugosi at the end of his career. Why some people think that this was a put down for Bela, I think he truly enjoyed acting in these films, and all the B-rate films that he did do, he gave an outstanding performance in every one of those. Like he really was doing it for real.
I'd say so.
I think that Ed Wood gave him a chance to work, and I think that it made the end of his life probably a little more fun, that he would still get top billing on a movie, even if it was a poverty role quickie, as they call them. But actually, Bride of the Monster is a good sentimental movie. Features Swedish wrestler Tor Johnson, who started doing horror films and made it quite interesting. He's a big guy.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. Apparently, though, the leading ladies were switched up. It was supposed to be Dolores Fuller's part, and suddenly Ed Wood gave the part to another woman because he thought she could finance the entire film. They got about 15 minutes of the film done and realized this woman did not have the money, and they had to quit shooting. So it took a little while, but Ed Wood got a major sponsor in a butcher shop, I think is what financed the movie, as long as he changed the ending, and it had to have a big explosion, fire in the sky. Well, the rest is history pretty much, but I always accepted this as one of the Universal classics. I would have had no idea that it wasn't. It was shown on the Creature Feature show at the time, in between stuff like, Frankenstein movies and the Universal classics. But it's a good time. I hope you enjoy it. Get right into it now. Bride of the Monster on Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater.
Well, it sure ain't natural. I'm getting away from this lightning catcher while I still can.
Ah, you'll be soaked to the bone before you get 10 yards.
Well, I'd rather be soaked than barbecued.
able to make it to the main road. Maybe we can make it over to the old Willows place. Are you out of your mind? You actually believe in that monster?
Well, the newspaper stories say...
Oh, that's your racetrack. There's the house.
It don't look good to me.
Ah, you're just spooked.
Well, spooked to death. That place just don't look healthy.
It hasn't been lived in 15 years. It's deserted.
It is, huh? I thought you said this place was deserted.
Well, it's supposed to be. I don't get it.
What do you want?
Let's get out of here.
We didn't think anybody lived here.
It was all his idea.
We thought maybe we'd get out of the rain. It looks like it's going to last all night.
It's pretty bad out there.
Oh, no, you can't stay.
Oh, be reasonable.
You can't stay.
We might catch pneumonia out there.
You're not welcome in my house. Go away, now. Go, go, go. Double. No. Just
The monster! Well, now do you believe in those newspaper stories?
you hear that, Lobo? You're the monster. Perhaps one day you will meet the monster.
That was the monster.
But I wouldn't give see a couple of cops right about now.
Come on. You get these straps off of me. Let me loose. Do you hear me?
Lobo hears, but he cannot speak. Lobo is mute.
Because of the storm.
I was afraid we're not going to have guests tonight.
Lobo, you're too rough with my patience.
Already he tires of our humble hospitality.
I said, let me out of here.
At the moment, I'm afraid it is impossible.
Who are you?
Vornov. Dr. Eric Vornov. The name will mean little to you.
What are you doing to me? You will be soon as big as a giant. The strength of 20 men.
Or, like all the others,
Dead.
turn off the switch. Isn't it strange, Lobo? Our friend always returns home after his long, tiresome swim.
What's your name?
You find out.
We will. Hey, watch that cigarette. What were you doing in the swamp?
Watch it to you.
That's enough of that, Buster.
No Tanktown jail can hold me. I'll be out of this here rat trap in 24 hours.
That's what you think. Vagrancy will hold you for 72 hours. Take him downstairs and book him.
All right, let's go.
Let go of me, I said. You can't do that to me. Let go.
Hey, where do you think you're going?
What do you mean, where do I think I'm going? I got Captain Robbins' newspapers.
You have you? And since when you don't leave the captain's papers with me?
Since the captain told me to bring them in myself. When you read them first, you mess them up.
Hold your tongue and give me those papers. I'll have you locked up for peddling without a license.
Kelton, I got a license.
Want to bet I can make it expire all of a sudden?
Here's the late editions, Captain. Look, why can't I work on this case?
Get back to your desk.
Yes, sir.
And Kelton,
Yes, sir.
I told the boy to bring the papers in himself.
Yes, sir. But if you ask me...
I didn't.
Yes, sir.
And Kelton,
Yes, sir.
where's Lieutenant Craig?
In his office, I think.
Send him in.
Yes, sir. Right away, sir.
Come in.
Hi, Captain.
Hello, Dick. Sit down.
Thanks.
Seen today's papers?
Is there anyone who hasn't?
Well, there's one nice thing about birds. They never cause anybody any trouble. Your girlfriend writes a good story.
She thinks so. Anything new?
No.
12 disappearances around this place and nothing to go on.
And nothing this time either.
I've been around that swamp so many times, I'm getting web-footed. It's been fired recently.
It's been fired several times recently. Jake Long's wife identified it a little while ago. The coat belonged to Leif McRae, his partner. They went hunting out by Marsh Lake. Never returned.
Not much left of it.
The boys found it floating in the lake.
What about the rifle?
About a mile from the old willow place.
All ties together.
But it doesn't prove anything.
You think there's anything in these monster stories?
Your girlfriend does.
What about you?
The police don't believe in monsters. Facts are our business. Facts and only facts, and don't you forget it.
I'm telling you, the captain isn't seeing nobody. Now, please be a good girl, Miss Lawton, and go.
Captain Robbins, will you tell this Junior G man to let me go?
Kelton,
Yes, sir?
let her go.
Just as you say, Captain.
It used to be a newspaper reporter could get information around this place.
What in the world do you mean?
Now he makes like a comic. Dick Craig, I don't put much stock in the future success of our married life if already you're holding out secrets on me. You've been dodging me all day.
Where'd you get an idea like that?
You mean you haven't been dodging me?
No.
And all those times I called and Kelton said the line was busy, it really was.
Yes.
Okay, let's have the story on Lake Marsh and the monster.
Monster.
I thought so.
There are no such thing as monsters. This is the 20th century.
Don't count on it. Monsters, I mean.
Now, Janet,
Don't you now Janet me, and you can count our engagement off.
you don't mean that.
Yes, I do.
No, she doesn't.
I most certainly do.
Well, then give him back the ring.
What?
If you're throwing over the marriage, give him back the ring.
Now, Chief,
Captain, give him back the rock. It's the only fair thing.
I'd rather throw it in Lake Marsh first. Besides, we've got to leave our personal lives out of our business lives.
As it should be.
As I've been saying all along.
Dog. Now, what about the monster story?
Well, that's your own story. You wrote it and you're stuck with it. There's no such thing as monsters.
Bunk, 2 more men have vanished up at Lake Marsh. That makes 12 in 3 months. Everything points to an inhuman violence. Or do you still stick to the alligator devouring routine? You're withholding news from the public.
Janet, you may not believe this, but you've got all the story there is.
You're right, I don't believe it.
Well, nevertheless, it's the truth, except for the monster. Figment of your very vivid imagination. Why, we've got nothing more to go on than what you reported to the paper.
The figment of my imagination is something I believe, and you haven't been able to disprove it.
We've conducted every possible search. Monsters, it's fantastic. You know that. Our business is dealing in facts, evidence. Can't you see that? Men disappearing. There's plenty of quicksand out there.
Yeah, 12 went down in the same place.
Well, we're doing our best to solve it.
Maybe your best isn't good enough.
Janet!
No, I mean it. No clues. What's this? A dancing costume? And this? A pogo stick?
Well, I've got to admit those were found at the lake. But remember, they were in your own story.
No human did this.
So you say.
Well, looks like I've run into a dead end around here. Okay, if you boys want to play a game of secrets, there's nothing left for me to do but take a run out to Lake Marsh myself.
Over my dead body.
That could be arranged. Goodbye.
She's just crazy enough to do what she says.
You know what, Captain?
What?
I think you're right.
Hi, Tilly.
Hi, Janet. Long time no see.
Tilly, do you remember a couple of years ago in the real estate section when the old Willow place out on Lake Marsh was up for sale against back taxes?
Seems to me that was around November or December of 48. Want to see the files?
Yes.
Just a minute. Here we are. October to December 48. In the top file there.
I won't be long.
Take your time. I ain't going anyplace, and neither are they. Find what you wanted, Janet?
Yes, thanks. Sorry to leave such a mess for you.
Well, that's what I get paid for.
Be you, dear Tilly. Call the boss. Tell him I'll be gone the rest of the day. I'll report in later.
Sure thing. Want something hot?
Oh, it could be. Oh, and Dick. Call him at headquarters. Break my dinner date with him. Tell him I have an ulcer or something.
Leave it to me. I fix.
Okay.
Hi, Janet.
Oh, hi, Marge.
Janet, still on the monster hunt?
What do you think?
I think the boss has been looking for you all day. Something about the police wanting those monster stories 86. You've got the whole town in a panic.
I didn't hear you.
I said
I know what you said, but I didn't hear you.
I get it. See you later.
Lieutenant Craig has been working on the case a long time, Professor. I'd like him to hear what you just told me.
I should be happy to cooperate.
Oh, hello, Dick. Professor Vladimir Ostrowski, Lieutenant Craig.
Glad to meet you, Professor.
How do you do?
Professor, will you bring him up to date?
Lieutenant Craig, have you ever heard of Loch Ness?
I think so. That's a lake in Scotland, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Then perhaps you are familiar with the Loch Ness Monster.
Vaguely.
A few years ago, I was called in by the British police to investigate the appearance of a monster at Loch Ness, with the thought that it was some creature left over from a bygone age. I am considered an authority on the subject of prehistoric monsters. However, I must admit that my investigation failed to get the desired results, in that I did not see the monster myself, but others did. There are sworn statements.
Professor, is it your theory that perhaps the Loch Ness Monster crossed the ocean and came to the swamp?
I consider that possibility extremely remote. But the cases do bear a certain similarity in that there are so many varied descriptions of this so-called monster. And I thought perhaps with my knowledge of such things, and with your permission, of course, that I might be able to shed some light on this mystery. That is the reason for my presence here.
What do you think, Dick?
Well, there's no denying we need help of some sort.
And you'll keep your findings secret for the time being?
As you will.
You don't mind a little company?
How do you mean, company?
Lieutenant Craig, at times the police can be quite useful.
I should be most happy to have Lieutenant Craig's assistance. How soon can you be ready to leave for Lake Marsh, Lieutenant Craig?
I'm ready.
No, I suggest we wait until morning. There was a storm brewing when I came in, and it is so close to nightfall.
According to reports, the monster strikes only at night.
Undoubtedly true, but the preliminary investigation should take place in daylight. The night, the monster, all in good time.
Sounds logical.
Whatever you say.
Now, gentlemen, since I just arrived in town this afternoon, if you will excuse me, I should like to return to my hotel.
Certainly, sir.
Good day, Captain.
Professor.
Until morning, Lieutenant Craig.
I'll be here. Strange sort of bird. Where do I meet him?
Here, 10 o'clock.
That'll give him plenty of daylight. Well, see you later.
Got a date?
What do you think?
I'll say you don't.
I don't?
A girl from her office called in, said that Janet had a headache or some such thing.
If she's gone to Lake Marsh alone, I'll take her across my knee. If it's the last thing I do.
Well, it probably would be. Watch him, Dick.
Strowski?
Just a hunch.
Right.
I want you staying away from that old Willow's place. She got the perfect haunted house in this. Isn't it awesome?
I'm really enjoying it.
The lightning, the rain.
Yes, it's perfect. It really sets the mood.
Yeah, it does set the mood. It's creepy. It's got an octopus. What could go wrong? Everybody should have an octopus hanging out.
I think so. They're so smart.
They're actually finding out that those octopus are very smart. One of them kept squirting water, and they were wondering why the light was burned out next to where where they had him in an aquarium or whatever. And they found out that he was shooting water at the light to put it out. Later, he crawled out and escaped, and he ended up going. He found a sewer way out of the place. So those octopus, you got to keep an eye on them.
Oh yes.
I think the Beatles were going to do a song called 8 Legs a Week, but they ended up changing it to 8 Days a Week. Something like that. When they did Octopus's Garden later on. See.
Yeah,
they had to figure out what they were doing there. But again, Bela Lugosi in a fine role. Bela Lugosi played everything on the Budapest stage. He played all the Shakespearean roles. He even played a very good role in Jesus. Outstanding performance. And that was before he had to work his way, I got to back up. He ran away from home at 16 to become an actor. Did all wonderful performances on stage. Later worked his way to America, landing in New Orleans originally, and then working his way to California, where he started doing Dracula on the stage, and it was very successful. But when Lon Chaney Sr. died, Sr. would have played the part, and they didn't want Bela Lugosi at first. Universal kind of already was dissing him, and he really lobbied hard for that part, and he got it, and history was made because it doesn't matter if the actor's trying to work against Lugosi or with him in any Dracula performance. It's still Dracula. It's still Bela Lugosi. Every kid will do Lugosi's accent. Even the Count from Sesame Street is Lugosi.
Yep.
So he spent the rest of his career doing basically, the title wasn't Dracula, but that's what they had him playing because that's what sold. So he did a lot of great things. He ended up playing the Frankenstein monster, even though he turned it down in 1931. Supposedly, that's a big argument in Hollywood whether or not that was true. Does any of your vampire friends have any idea about that?
Not really.
It's a mystery.
It's a mystery. We'll have to look into it. I'll have to do some scouting.
Because anyway, he ended up playing the Frankenstein monster in Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman. And the pretense was the character he played in the previous film was Igor, and they put put Igor's brain in the Frankenstein monster. Igor was a very evil character, far worse than Karloff's Frankenstein. And the thought of Igor's brain in that hulking hull of the monster was far more evil. And there was nothing sympathetic about that monster. He was evil. Unfortunately, they cut all his dialogue out of the film and makes some of the parts look rather ridiculous. And there's I see a lot of comments made on social media because people love those Universal horror films to this day. They're a huge topic. And of course, with social media, it's going to be a huge argument as well. What they don't realize is that the monster, Bela Lugosi's playing the monster blind. He's playing a blind person. If you've ever been with a blind person for a long period of time, they do a lot of really different things that you would be surprised by. And I spent a good amount of time with a blind person, a very nice lady. And so I can see Bela doing this in his performance. And if you didn't know that he's supposed to be blind, you'd be very unaware. And if you haven't really spent a lot of time with someone that was blind, with the little things they do to get around the house. And so Bela was doing a great job on that. Still a great film. Everybody loves Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman. I think everybody loves Bride of the Monster, too. I mean, it's just got a lot of cool qualities about it.
It does.
And Bela Lugosi. And then there's an octopus. Did I say there was an octopus? Yeah, there's an octopus. We'll get to that later. Right now, you get back to it now. That's right. Bride of the Monster on Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater, where something smells fishy in the laboratory tonight.
Who are you?
I'm Dr. Eric Vornov. You had a severe shock.
How did I get here?
Oh, that's not important for the moment. What you need now is rest. Rest. You will sleep. Sleep. For the lovely young lady. Sleep.
Well, here we are at the fork in the road, and like they say in all good westerns, which way to go?
Well, that's the road to the Willis place. Let's take a chance on that one.
Okay. You know, I get to hate this swamp more every time I come out here.
You just weren't born for swamp duty, Marty.
I guess you're right. I'd like to transfer to a department as far away from here as possible. The wind and the rain gives this place a gleam that just isn't natural. And the ground is alive with crawling things, crawling death.
You're right there, Marty. This swamp is a monument to death. Snakes, alligators, quicksand, all bent on one thing: destruction. Something strange about all this rain.
The lightning's been going crazy, too. Maybe it's like the papers say, all these atom bomb explosions distorted the atmosphere.
Maybe.
You know, if I were this Professor Strotsky guy, I wouldn't come out in this swamp without a guide.
You know, that's the one thing I can't figure. He comes to the office with all these monster stories, makes an appointment to come out here with us, then goes off by himself.
Are you sure he came out here?
Where else could he go? Well, let's get at it.
There's not a trace of her. Well, maybe after the accident, she found her way down the road and then back into town.
I've got to be sure.
Look, there's a coffee joint about 10 miles back. Let's go and check.
Let's go.
Okay.
Where did you find her car? Not a sign of her? Where's Strowski? I told you not to let him out of your sight.
Right, Captain.
I don't like the looks of things. Well, get back to Strowski. I'll get word to you later.
Yeah.
You look worried, Dick.
No one. Captain Robbins, her apartment, her office. No one has heard from her since yesterday afternoon. Captain Robbins is checking further.
Okay, but what do we do?
Orders. Find Strowski.
Get me the city desk. Hello, Jim. Yeah, about the Lawton girl. He just called me, too. Who saw her last around your office?
Don't be afraid of Lobo. He's as gentle as a kitten. Put the tray down here. Lobo, that is all. Get out. I said get out! That is all. Now come, my dear. Some cream or sugar? You didn't have your breakfast yet. Now it's past noon. You must be hungry.
What happened to me?
Your automobile. An accident. Lobo brought you here to me.
What is this place and who are you?
Don't you remember I told you last night?
Did you tell me?
Yes. I'm Dr. Eric Vornov.
This is the old Willows place.
Yes. How did you know?
I checked our real estate files. A Dr. Eric Vornov bought the Willows place in November of 1948.
You are a newspaper reporter, huh?
Yes.
My name seems to mean much to you.
Well, actually, it wasn't your name I was interested in. Through the mysteries of Lake Marsh and the Willows place being right on the lake, I looked in the files to see what happened to it. Your name was there as a purchaser. I thought perhaps you might have heard something about the monster.
Oh, my dear Miss Lawton,
When did I tell you my name?
You didn't. But since you were unconscious, I took the liberty looking into your purse.
You must have seen my press card.
Yes, I did.
Well, since you knew the answers already, why the third degree, and who or what was that monster?
Oh, he's quite human. I discovered him in the wilderness of Tibet. He has been quite useful to me at times. But now, since your tiring experience, I think we have talked too much.
I'm not the least bit tired.
But you are tired. You are so tired.
Strange. Suddenly I do feel very tired.
Yes.
Very tired.
Very tired. Lobo, take the girl to my quarters.
Dear Professor Strauski, well, it has been a very long time.
Voronov, it is you.
You can see.
In Paris, I missed you by a month. In London, a week. At Loch Ness, by only 1 day. The monster of Lake Marsh sounded again like you.
Why that sudden interest in me, Professor Strauski?
Your experiments in atomic energy, of course.
So my dear country now believes in my work and that it can be a success.
Our government wants you to return, Voronov, to continue your research and experiments there, where you can have everything at your disposal. Why do you laugh? Surely this is not a laughing matter.
My dear Professor Strauski, 20 years ago, I was banned from my homeland, parted from my wife and son, never to see them again. Why? Because I suggested to use the atom elements for producing super beings, beings of unthinkable strength and size. I was classed as a madman, a charlatan, outlawed in a world of science which previously honored me as a genius. Now, here in this forsaken jungle hell, I have proven that I am all right. Now, Professor Strauski, it is no laughing matter.
Yes. Yes, indeed, it was a tragic error. But as soon as I learned how correct your findings were, always have been, I informed those in authority. Voronov, I have searched for you everywhere. Everywhere I hear stories of monsters. Now I am here, sent to bring you home.
Home? I have no home. Hunted, despised, living like an animal. The jungle is my home. That I will show the world that I can be its master. I will perfect my own race of people. A race of atomic supermen which will conquer the world.
Yes. Yes, of course. A truly great master race, such as I convinced my superiors only you could create. One with which our government can rule the world without debate.
You misunderstand me, Strauski. I don't intend to return home. My plans are for myself.
Are you mad, Voronov?
One is always considered mad if one discovers something that others cannot grasp.
Our government ordered me to bring you back.
I'm afraid you will find it rather difficult.
You see, Voronov, I did not come alone.
Neither did I, my dear Strauski. Bring him along, Lobo. Hurry!
You may kill me, but others will come.
Silence!
You'll never get away with it,
there.
Voronov, no! No, no, no!
Professor Strowski. You will get a much closer view of the product of my genius. The alleged monster of Lake March. Your country offers fame and fortune for my return, but my price is so much more great. You will disappear, Professor Strowski, just as all the others have disappeared.
Strowski used?
I'd make book it is. It's getting dark now. You take the car and go down to the beach. I'll go through the swamp to the old Willows place.
Okay. Oh, here. Better take this with you.
Right. Oh, Marty.
Yeah.
If you see anything suspicious, you know where I am.
Trouble is, everything in this swamp is suspicious.
What can I do for you, sir?
Captain Robbins. Homicide.
Why, Captain, I haven't murdered anyone in a month of Sundays.
Did Janet Lawton stop by here late yesterday afternoon?
Oh, just like a policeman. No sense of humor. Yes, she stepped by late in the afternoon.
Remember the time?
Well, not to the second. She came in around 2 and left around 3:30. Then again, that isn't so late, is it?
What'd she want?
She was looking for information.
That I'm sure of. Do you happen to know what that information was?
Well, sure.
Well?
Well, what?
Must we play games?
I didn't know we were.
What was Miss Lawton looking for in the files?
Oh, well, why didn't you ask that in the first place instead of all your chit-chat? She was looking over the real estate files in October, November, and December of 1948. In particular, the sale of the old Willows place out on Lake Marsh.
Did she find what she was looking for?
Well, I guess she did. At least she found the sales notice. I saw it myself after she rushed out. She left the paper open at the November 26th date. Want to see it?
Why, very much.
Well, it's right up there. I haven't had time to put it back yet.
Yeah, Dr. Eric Varnoff. Give me all you have on him. I'll hang on.
Now we're ready for the girl.
Dear, lovely.
Strap her to the table. Do as I command you. I teach you to disobey. You will obey. Whisper it. Whisper it. I command you.
Right there. How about that Lobo? I mean, he's kind of handsome for a big guy, isn't he?
I'd say so. I think he's got some good qualities to him.
You think he'd be popular at the nightclub if he went out clubbing?
I'm sure he'd find his crew for sure.
Swedish wrestler Tor Johnson. Ed Wood said he'd just be amazing in a movie, and so he got into the Ed Wood camp, which was several actors, and I heard one actor describe the Ed Wood scene as it was sort of like a carnival. Like carnies, like carnival people. But he really used a lot of people that, they didn't get a good break in Hollywood, and he managed to use them for namesake, I suppose. Some people criticize him. I know Bela Lugosi Jr. is not happy with the Ed Wood films, and I can understand that. But it gave Bela something to do and some dignity, and he always played his part perfectly. So I was a big fan of this film. I think it's just the whole setup is really creepy. For its time, it's a real send back to the classic horror film. You got to remember, this is made while the big 50s science fiction films are going on with as Bela put it, giant bugs, giant insects. Who would have believed these things?
Yeah, it definitely has its own little realm. It brings us back a little bit, gives you that classic horror feel.
You know, it looks very much nice, like a nice little Wisconsin house that, you know, a farmer or Ed Gein would live in. I mean, it's just, you know, it's perfect. Even though there's a lot more sinister going on here with Bela Lugosi and what he's doing with his experiments. He wants to make a race of atomic supermen that will challenge the world from his little farmhouse in the middle of nowhere. Gotta love it. Great performance. And there was some argument, too, about his pronunciation of kitten. And he says kitten perfectly. Probably better than I could. I don't know.
He does a good job.
It was a good job. Great movie, great fun here. And what could possibly go wrong in the exciting conclusion of Bride of the Monster? Well, you're going to find out. That's right. Get right back into it. Bride of the Monster. Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater. You're always having a good time, or you're not watching Crimson Theater.
Get the equipment ready. It hurts just for a moment. But then you will emerge a woman of super strength and beauty. The bride of the atom.
You're insane. My paper knows where I am. You can't hurt me and get away with it.
As soon as my experiments are completed, no one can ever touch me. I will make the law. Either way, whether I succeed or fail, it will not hurt you very long.
Let me go! Let me go!
You heard what you said.
Who are you?
For one thing, the police. Now turn her loose and make it fast.
You have the advantage for the moment.
Stop talking and turn her loose.
Take him out quickly.
Where's Lieutenant Craig? We found Strotsky's car down the road. The lieutenant took off through the swamp, sent me down here to the beach to wait for him.
Where was he heading?
Old Willow's place.
Kelton?
Yes, sir?
Now, this is your first time out. Don't mess up the operation.
Yes, sir. No, sir.
Martin, you stay with me.
Yes, sir.
Come on. I'm sure my experiments on the young lady will interest you.
I'll live to see you hang.
There are much more important things to attend. I hope the straps are not too cutting. Such lovely skin should not be marred.
by command! Stop!
began.
Jan, get me the gun.
I've got to stop him.
But you can't. He'll kill you.
We will anyway. Stay here.
Turn that thing off.
Kelton, you station yourself here. You men surround the house. Martin, you come with me.
All right, Captain. Ready?
Right. place is on fire. Let's get out of here before we get roasted. Captain, look!
What do you suppose that was?
Well, whatever it is, get it. Oh, wait a minute. Here comes Dick. He got Jan. Get him. No, don't shoot. Might hit Jan. Let's go.
Marty, Joe, give me a gun.
Here you go, boy.
No! Now get on up over that ledge. Get up over on top of him.
That's what I was going to suggest.
Oh, stop the chatter and get in action. Now he's clear. Give it to him. Tampered in God's domain.
report to my quarters.
Janet's car? Yeah. There's not a trace of it.
Let me loose. Do you hear me? You will be soon as big as a giant. Or, like all the others, dead.
Ghoulies, I hope you enjoyed tonight's horrifying melodrama as much as I did. Did you catch the platform shoes?
Oh.
Did you see the platform shoes? For 1950s, platform shoes were not always seen in a movie. Of course, that terrible ending, and of course, the octopus reigns supreme in the end. Now, word was that they stole that octopus from a Hollywood set department.
Really?
Yeah, well, at least as portrayed in the Ed Wood movie Tim Burton did, which I wouldn't take for fact because there was a lot of things about that movie that indeed are not factual. But it's a fun movie if you look at it from sort of a Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein point of view.
Right.
Basically, that's about what it was. One of the scenes that always I think I got the biggest issue with is in the Ed Wood Tim Burton movie. Ed Wood has to rescue Bela Lugosi from the rehab, and it shows Bela Lugosi all hunched over, and nobody's there but Ed Wood. That was not the truth at all. There's footage of Bela Lugosi coming out of the rehab. He's standing perfectly straight, up and down. All the nurses are there. There's a whole lot of people around him, and actually, Ed Wood's not in any of that footage. So that was the way the movie made in the 90s portrayed that situation, which is kind of not at all how it is. Now, I stumbled upon this footage, and I can't find it now, but it was basically shot probably the same day as Bela Lugosi was released from the hospital for rehab. Skinny little Bela Lugosi is totally horizontal doing a push-up with one arm. Little skinny Bela Lugosi doing a push-up with one arm on his picnic table.
Wow.
And it's shot from that same day. So he was... Yeah, well, I wonder, if it was that he had such an amazing cure, or he was such an amazing actor that he could have really been feeling ill but put on a show anyway. I wouldn't put it past him, because he really was a quality actor. Do a Google search. Do a Google search of Bela Lugosi as Christ. I mean, it's amazing. I think they, again, Coppola definitely referenced that imagery for his film.
Oh, definitely.
And Gary Oldman does a little bit, I think, of the Bela Lugosi in his performance. Dracula, he does a little bit of that in there. Makes it quite interesting. Unfortunately, Bela Lugosi died not long after Ed Wood. Ed Wood made Plan 9 from Outer Space. That was it. So I don't think he was even alive when they made Plan 9. I think they used some stock footage or something like that. But maybe we'll dig up Plan 9 for you next week. So you have a horrifying week. We'll see you next time on Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater.